Hi Claire,
Hi, Steve.
welcome back to Art Friends Coffee.
Thank you
Uh,
very much.
Today, we'd just like to ask you if you have any tips for beginners.
Oh, it's a good question and something that I would have greatly appreciated, I think, listening to when I first started out. It's
Yeah.
a tricky road, and yeah. I think one of the things that I would say, well, I teach a class on a Monday morning, and if I get new students that come to me, one of the questions I first ask them is, what do you like to look at? So in regard to new artists starting out and maybe uncertain as to what genre of art creative process they actually want to go down, I would say it's what they actually like to look at, what do they get drawn to, and that sort of like will naturally, hopefully, help them to put them on the right path to actually creating so the bodies of work they want to do. But as far as actually starting out, as far as trying to become a professional artist, I think it's really important, and the biggest thing I could say is just don't give up. Don't
Yeah.
get cut off by no's, by any form of rejection. It's really hard. I'm saying that I've still got put off, and I've still been upset by rejection because we are creatives.
Yeah, I agree. That echoes my experience. But you're right. Don't be put off is a great mantra, but of course we all put something of ourselves into the art, and we all feel it. So yeah,
This is really personal stuff that we're doing, and you're putting it out there. And when somebody does say no, it's really hard. But something that I've learned over the years is that, say, if you're putting work into competitions, into galleries, sometimes group exhibitions, if it's selected, they're saying no, not because necessarily it's your work. They're saying no because they've got another agenda which they've got to adhere to. So they could have a particular creating program that they want to actually fulfill. They could be thinking, well, I've already got landscape artists or portrait artists, or so it's not a rejection on your work per se. It's actually what is it actually they're looking for that show. So that's one of the things that I would really say, especially when it comes to online entries for competitions or even to galleries. If it's online, with the competitions, they're getting seconds. They're literally flicking through. There's a brilliant documentary as an illustration to that on BBC, which they tend to do once a year for the RA summer exhibition application process. And on there, you can see clearly how quick those images move across. And nothing's like seeing your work in the flesh. We all know that.
no, I agree.
So the rejections, just don't take it to heart if you can, or just try and keep saying that to yourself to keep that sort of mantra going. And I would also say that to follow what you really love to do, especially when you're starting out, you can get a lot of people saying, things like maybe like, well, say if you're interested in landscape painting, but you'll get people saying, oh, but there's a lot of money in portraiture. People, but that's really not what you want to do, or you don't feel it's your strength. Don't do it. Really listen to what it is that you want to do and find a way as to how you can actually get that out and be seen and recognized, because otherwise you're going to be fighting against yourself. And also you need to sort of in some ways sort of think about, as an artist, how are you being represented, with social media feeds and things like that. It's sort of, you need almost, it's not a brand at all, but it's almost like a way of working that actually people can look at you and go, I know who this artist is. I'm feeling secure that this is the kind of work that I'm going to be getting from that artist. And if you're creating things that you don't like, that can cause problems later on down the line. So that's something that I would really say to do. And just sort of, the main one is just try to keep persevering. Also, one of the biggest things is your peers. Reach out to other artists, whether it's through social media platforms, art groups, through galleries, other creatives, and that doesn't necessarily need to be actually people that are creating art like this per se, but the more you can connect with the artistic community, the more opportunities will come to you. So
I agree completely.
It's really, really important, and everyone's supportive. I've never come across anybody that's not. They want. I think we've sort of talked about before about the fact of sort of like there's we haven't come across a competitive nature within the art world. It's more supportive because we all create individual work, and that is really important. And I think that's something that they don't say often enough at unis and things, the value of peers. So I mean, I've got my uni friends that we especially during COVID, we were Zooming each other as a group, and we've kept that going, and it's been hugely valuable. You know, we're all professional artists, so we're always bouncing ideas. We do different genres of work and we different outputs, but just that talking to one another, it just spurs on those, you know, thought process, and you get different ideas. So
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and great advice. That is great advice. That.
Thank you.
Yeah, having a community of peers is really helpful. Well, actually, I mean, it doesn't have to be peers, really. It can be artists, sort of, you know, up and down, you know, in terms of their place on the journey.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, you know, whether or not if you're somebody that's been in the game for a while, it's almost like a sort of unofficial mentoring in a way, because you can sort of
giving back,
and then also that person could be whipping it right past you and being highly successful, and who knows what's going to happen that way. So you just, you know, it's just about supporting one another.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. I hope anyone, you know, starting out or along the journey found some nuggets in there. I'd be amazed if they didn't. That's really helpful. Thanks so much for your time again, Claire. And for those of you at home, if you like that, it was useful to you, then please give us a like and a subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks very much, Claire.
Thanks, Steve. Take care. Bye.